You once said that online tournaments are the toughest tournaments you can play.
Yeah.
You've had more experience live now. Do you still feel the same way?
I feel like online tournaments have gotten to the point where it's difficult to make a living just from them. The fields are still pretty massive, but the tournaments are getting tougher and tougher. There are fewer players who are just out there who are going to give their money away, and there are more and more people trying to make their living from them. $100 rebuys online and $1,000 tournaments, the weekly ones, like a couple hundred people. There are a lot of really good poker players in the world, and the fact that the 200 of the best of them or 200 of the best online players are playing them means that it's just not very easy to get your little piece of the pie bigger than what you started with.
Right.
Added with the rake, there's less and less money in the system. I just feel like poker's taken a hit recently, and it's just online poker in general, they're just kind of sucking the money out, and eventually, only the best players are going to be able to play them. And I just feel like right now, playing online poker is, tournaments in general are just pretty tough to make a living from. And it just hasn't hit the live arena yet. The World Series is going to keep growing and growing. I think this year it's going to get bigger and bigger.
Hope so.
Yeah, definitely. I really hope a lot of the prelims get huge this year. But it seems like the smaller tournaments will grow and the bigger tournaments will shrink a little bit. And some sort of equilibrium has to be made, or else poker is going to be in trouble.
Yeah. So you play online as much as you used to?
Definitely not.
No.
I play online like for the bigger tournaments a couple times, but recently I've been looking to just play live. I've been playing a bunch of cash games live. I think I've been doing pretty well at it. I've been focusing on getting better at mixed games because I really like playing those.
Yeah.
And I just want to stay as versatile as I can. I don't want to specialize in any one thing, so that if poker changes to something else in the future...
You can change.
Exactly.
Right. Everyone knows you're a favorite on Poker Road Radio, and you often guest host the preview show for the final tables. How'd you get involved?
I've always been an avid listener of the show, ever since it was its very first incarnation, the circuit, and then it went over into Poker Wire Radio, where I stopped listening a little bit, and then it went into Poker Road, and I went to Australia, and they asked me to be on the show, which was like the coolest thing ever. I actually remember I listened to the very first episode of the very first show way back in the day on the circuit, and then like Poker Road, when it came about, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And I don't know, it was just so cool being on the show, and then I don't know, I started hanging around a little bit whenever they were at the tournaments that I was at too, and then it basically went from there. I became friendly with a lot of the people, and I really like hanging out with the media too. The media people are also friendly, and Poker Road deals with a lot of them, so I don't know, it just went from there, and now I'm happy to be a part of it and making people laugh, which is something I've always liked to do.
Just adds a little fun to poker.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, making people laugh is one of my other favorite things besides making money. So,
any plans to do any other media?
I'm not sure exactly. I've always wanted to be a poker commentator. I feel like that would be really cool. It's kind of tough to get into, obviously, but I'd like to work into it. I've been working on my networking recently. It seems like I've been getting a lot of cool phone numbers and everything, getting in touch with people. I feel like I've made kind of a good name for myself in poker, which is pretty important, which is actually kind of funny because based off of the Aussie Millions, you would expect me to be hated by everyone. But I feel like since then my reputation has grown a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that was so long ago already. We asked the same question to David Williams and Justin Bonomo about how Magic players always make that transition into poker.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
It has a lot of the same skill sets. A lot of people compare chess to poker and chess to Magic or something like that, but chess is a game of complete information. You know all the moves that your opponent can make at any one time. But Magic and poker are similar, where they have they're games of incomplete information, where your opponent is holding cards that you don't know about. And that's really important and you have to use logic and deduction to make long-term plays. There's a lot of variance in it because, the best player may lose a game or two, but in the end, they're going to end up with all the money, or, they're going to win most of the games. And it's a really attractive game to young minds because, a lot of people who are into math and into strategy games, it's basically the same thing to them.
Nice. I've never played Magic.
Yeah.
Seems fun. In an interview for Poker Road's 15 Outs, you said, I have a lot of things I want to fix in myself as a person and as a player. What was going on in your life at that time?
I still kind of feel the same way, so I can kind of, definitely very in there about what, is going on. I just feel like I've got discipline issues to work out at the table and in life. I desperately do need to drop some weight. It's just, I don't know, it's really tough to commit to. It's basically just, I guess, a level of laziness.
And poker doesn't help. I mean, everyone in poker is lazy. I'm lazy. We all are.
The poker lifestyle definitely doesn't help. Some of it may just be my metabolism or something, but I think in general it just comes down to, I really do want it, so it just basically comes down to putting in the work.
Sure.
And I feel like that's just been my problem all along, is just not willing to put in a lot of the work to get the things done that I want to accomplish, but it's got to happen eventually.
Okay. In that same interview, you said, poker is a brutal game. It can put doubt in you like nothing else. Why do you play?
Because I don't want to have to do anything else. The money was obviously the first draw, Like, I didn't want to have to get a job. I've never actually held a job in my life. Never. No part-time jobs, no nothing. I'd always, sell things on eBay or whatever to make money to do stuff. So the money was a definite draw, but it's something I love, to play a strategy game and, to outthink people. I think that's really cool. I used to be part of like Scholastic quiz bowl kind of stuff. We called it Scholastic Bowl. I was part of the chess team, which I wasn't very good at, but I was the president anyway. I like to be I'm very competitive, and making money is good, and just it all summed up to make poker the perfect thing. I used to play poker, but it was always for fun, and I never treated it seriously. Sure. And then eventually, when the poker boom happened and all my friends started playing poker, it was just perfect timing.
It's always nice to have friends who play poker that you can talk to about things.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And a lot of my friends who were playing poker that got me into it were 3 or 4 years older than I was, and they were in college, and they taught me how to play Magic better. And then when they moved over to the poker, they had more money than I did, and they started teaching me, and it was just a really cool place to be in, and I felt like one of the group. And so naturally, if I wanted to be friends with them, I would have to play poker and get better, and so I did.
All right, we have to talk about Gobbo Mom. Your mom posts in the forums.
Yep.
Everyone knows her. She's kind of like a mini celebrity on the forums. Some people get embarrassed when their moms get involved with all their stuff. How do you feel?
I'm pretty embarrassed when my mom gets involved. She's she's an awesome mom. She really is. She's been awesome my entire life as being a mom.
Everyone loves her.
Yeah, sometimes she gets a little bit in trouble. She's very stubborn, a lot like me, and I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of strange because I can't post things without her seeing them. Basically, because at first, when she started reading about what I was saying on the forum, she would just like look up my name and then like search for all my posts, and that was a little bit weird because wow, I can't say anything without my mom knowing about it. This was like the one safe place that I had. But now, she accepts my life completely, which is great, and it's not like I'm doing anything like bad anyway. So it's just really cool having her support me.
No, it's nice.
I know that some people play poker and their parents don't really support it, but she loves it, and she's really hoping to come out this summer and meet a lot of my friends.
Cool, can't wait to meet her. I think did I meet her one time?
I think possibly, but
she
was only out here during the main event last year, and the main event's the worst time to come out because she's not going to meet anyone.
Obviously, another big story with you involved Howard Lederer.
Yeah.
And an email that was mistakenly sent to you in which he called you a freak and a weird dude.
Yeah.
Is there anything left to say about that?
I don't think so. I think it's gotten discussed to death.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that it had all happen in public, and at the same time, I said back then, I don't think I'm going to work, I won't even work for Full Tilt if they ask me to in the future, and, I still think that's true, when everything's on the table like it was, it just creates sour feelings, and at this point, if I take a deal from them, I feel like I'll be a sellout, so I don't want to do that.
I understand that.
I do feel like, I think one of my biggest faults as a person is that I take things very, very personally, but that's because I feel like I've always been pretty nice and courteous to everyone I met. I don't make enemies very well, or easily. So